Hey, how are you? Good. I hope you have a great day. And I have another one on manipulation. This one's about the mask manipulation, or the mask manipulate, whatever you want to call it. So basically, it talks about how manipulators are always walking with a mask or working with a mask. They almost, they almost always have a They will even have a mask on for the people that they're trying to abuse. I mean, they almost always have a mask on. So what ends up happening is every now and then you get a revelation of what's beneath the mask by their behavior. The more time you spend with them, the more you'll see if you're wearing them, that they are manipulating. So, but you would find it hard to get other people to believe that they're wearing that. People only see the mask. They don't see what's underneath it. They're really good at keeping that. I mean, a lot of them can actually move their crew quite a bit. For some reason, they have people thinking that their circumstances is what makes them overreact. Like if somebody's, you know, let's just say they're like blowing the horn and they're like frustrated trying to get somewhere in their vehicle. And people are like, well, what's your problem? Why are you driving like this? But they know that they're frustrated because they need to get somewhere. And so like, oh, that's it. So people make a lot of excuses and talk to people, right? So um, that's what they're hoping on. They're hoping on the excuses that you make them. That's actually how they make it through life. If they can get people to make excuses for them, they can continue the behavior that they do. It works for them, and there isn't any reason to change it. So if we can become aware of the fact that people are wearing a mask and if they're doing it so that they can take advantage of their situations because they expect people to make excuses for them, not making excuses for them, this is what we really need to do. The people who aren't asking you to make excuses for them sometimes need to have an excuse made for them. But those who expect people to make excuses for their behavior are the exact people who don't want to be having they have an excuse for their behavior actually. The excuses they're frustrated because they expect things to happen the way that they expect it to happen outside of that realm is a frustration. That's why they're frustrated. They're frustrated because they're entitled. And so they wear this mask pretending that they're societal, that they care about society, that they're a healthy part of society, that they're a healthy family person, that they're out for the family's best interest, that they're they're the key employee that is focusing on best for the company, but in actuality, they're always entitled to themselves. They're only there to make sure that they get what they need out of whatever it is that they're working on. That if they're not getting what they need, they have some kind of an excuse, whether it's victimhood, they did this to me, they did that to me, and that's why I respond the way that they did, because they won't take accountability for their actions. So they just expect things to turn out the way that they expect it, and they want things to go their way all the time. They want things to be done their way. They want to find a way out of everything. They want to have an excuse for it. And they want you to let them slide by. Just let everything slide by. Like you'll see some of these people, they vent these, and they're acting before a judge as if, oh well, I had this problem, and I, that's why this happened. In actuality, they are a thief. They're a routine thief. And they keep showing up in front of a different judge with a different excuse. And they just have a really good way of they're manipulating. So anyways, they're wearing a mask. Whenever they're standing in front of the judge, they put the mask on that they think is going to work. They might have more than one mask. They could have numerous masks, depending on where they are. They have a different mask for every person. So they'll have a different mask to wear for their friends. Like with the hanging out with the guys, the girls, or whatever, they have a mask to wear there so that those people interpret this person in a different way. That's one thing you can tell about a manipulator. Everybody interprets this person differently. So it causes a lot of confusion. There's a lot of controversy there because this person is different for everybody. When the person's at work, they have on their work mask. When they're at church, they have on their church mask. When they're at home, they have on their home mask. If they're in the gym, they put on their gym mask. So they have a mask for every place that they are. And so they have um, a different mask for somebody in relationships. They get a different mask too. So everybody gets different masks. They get a different mask for the parents, for different parents too, for the father, for the mother. Everybody gets a different mask. So it's basically figuring out what that one person expects out of them or the way that they can get in, like under their skin, and they put that mask on and they become that person. So that that person is basically on their team or willing to make excuses for anything anytime they do something. So that's why it'll seem kind of weird, like if you have a problem with your manipulator, when you go to like their family member and you speak to them about something, they don't see the manipulator from the same perspective as you because they're getting a different mask. So it makes it really confusing. You're getting the partner mask, which is probably the one that sees the truest of the person is somebody obviously who lives with them. And then there's like, let's just say like a mom or a dad, they get the mask, but they're under the impression that this is their child and they're willing to make excuses for them. So that mask can be a little bit less. Like it doesn't have to be as, they don't have to do as much to keep that mask on. So there's degrees to it too, you know. So when they're with the guys, it's like, oh, they're just good time, good guy. And so when they wear that mask, a lot of other things come with it. Like when they're with the guys, they might have some problems. They always want people to think that they need them to support that. Like they need their support. They need everybody's support. So they need to give everybody in each separate group a reason why they need to support them. So like with the guys, whatever, maybe it's like, oh, I finally get to go out. Like the old lady finally let me out of the house, that kind of a thing. So, oh yeah, this poor guy, he's stuck in a loveless marriage. We feel bad for him. And then at work, it's like, well, there's a different thing. Like, why? Oh, I'm the one that has to carry the weight of all the expenses. I need some support. This is where the victim mentality plays into every single math as well. So the mask portrays a false reality. So it manipulates reality. There's a true person underneath that mask, but the mask manipulates reality. That's the goal. The mask is to work reality. That's why you put on the mask at Halloween. It's a different look than who you really are. It's changing reality. You're whatever that mask is for the night. The manipulators know who they are and work very hard to portray they are someone else that you know, whoever that they want to be. They're actually chameleons too. Manipulators are chameleons. That's why there's so many forms of manipulation, right? They will not take accountability for they are. So they have to become someone else. They have no choice to become somebody else. They can't do it. They can barely stand their own reflection in the mirror without the mask. They have to see themselves through the eyes of the mask. They try to become who others expect them to be. Everyone around you sees the phony portrayal, but believes it to be real. People believe the mask because what they see is what's portrayed. You will see these manipulators turn on and off like a switch, depending on who is in there. They will have a fit, screaming and pleading, then pull up at the church, get up, and put a smile, open your door for you, and walk in to the building, smiling, shaking everyone's hand, as if nothing had happened. They may whisper to others how you are having a bad day, putting people on guard against you, telling others they should want you. All part of the plan, part of that. So, like what I said is they wear this mask, which may that they're somebody that they're not, and it's somebody that they can accept, and they can't accept the real them. So they want others to accept that, which they have a mask for every different circumstance, for every different person. And at the bottom of that mask is the support thing. The reason why they do it. They need support because they're insecure. So this mask actually supports to be wherever that person is being at the time. And so that requires them to get support. And one of the ways that they get support, or the only way is that they find a weakness in that person or something that will cause them to the victim so that that person feels the need to support that person. And then they take somebody who they are worried about telling them, like for instance, this guy was just screaming and fussing and swearing all his way on the way to church, but here he is smiling and everybody is getting a smile and a handshake. But the person who he lives with, the partner, gets the real person for that ride without the mask. And so to prepare them for just in case the partner speaks up and says, well, this is what I got all the way to church, because the partner was communicating that, they tap everybody on the shoulder and say, watch out for my partner. She's having a bad day. So that's part of the victimhood, and that's part of the mask. It's keeping the mask on because they're afraid the mask is going to come off. So they'll do whatever manipulation they need to do to make sure that the mask is legitimate and that the mask stays on. That was it for today. Have a great day.